What's up guys, Brian here representing the Overlay Network, giving you guys a Valkyrie deck profile. It's very Valkyrie theme heavy because I really just want to be able to see all my Valkyries as much as I can. And for the extra deck, I just went with a pure Link extra deck because that's what I felt the most comfortable with. And this is just, there's no hand traps in this. This is just a pretty much I want to say theme / casual deck to take. But there are some pretty try-hard extra deck monsters in here because I just feel like it just helps OTK. You can either go first or second. It really doesn't matter because thanks to level 9 Valkyrie, this deck has gotten a little bit better in terms of flow. But yeah, without further ado guys, let's get on into it. This is a 40 card deck. And yeah, we're going to start off with the 1-ofs. We have Miss Valkyrie Funtef. Hopefully I'm not butchering any of the names, but I probably am, so yeah. Her effect is Valkyrie monsters gain 200 attack for each of your opponent's banished monsters. So she gains the 200 on top of all your other ones, which can be very helpful in pushing for game. And if you control another Valkyrie monster besides her, you can send one spell or trap from your deck to your graveyard. So it's either going to be Rat of the Valkyries or Mischief of the Time Goddess that you want to be sending to the graveyard. But it can be some other cards you want to send depending on the situation. But yeah, we run a lot of 1-ofs, so that's one of the 1-ofs right there, Miss Funtef. Next we're going to go into Valkyrie Raita. Her effect is she lets you activate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of other Valkyrie monsters you control. And if you do, you can add one excavated normal spell or trap to your hand, so that's pretty nice in my opinion. And then you got to send the remaining cards to the graveyard, so there's that. Otherwise, if you didn't do that, you got to shuffle all the cards you excavated back into the deck. So yeah, it's if that doesn't happen, just go back into the deck. So yeah, there's that. And then when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Valkyrie monster from your deck, and then you can only use each effect of Raita once per turn. So yeah, very helpful, and can be helpful for either her effects. So I like her, and yeah, we run one of her. Next, we run Valkyrie Swaita. When she is summoned, just summoned, doesn't matter if it's normal, attributed, special. When she is summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So very helpful and can help you get rid of some stuff. And then her other effect is also after damage calculation. When this card battled, you can target one continuous spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Swaita once per turn. So you have the synergy right here between Funtef and Swaita to send whatever you want to the graveyard early in the game and then get it back thanks to Swaita. So yeah, pretty neat stuff that it can do. So yeah, we run one of her. Next, we run one Valkyrie Erst. Her effect is when she is special summoned from your hand by the effect of a spell effect, you can target one Mischief of the Time Goddess in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it helps you recur back your OTK card if you didn't get it through the first time around. And then if you control a Valkyrie monster other than her, quick effect, you can banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. Then this card's attack becomes equal to the attack of the banished monster original attack until the end of the turn. So once again, it helps you push for games. So Valkyrie is just, I don't know, they're pretty cool, and they came out in the anime. So yeah, I just always thought they were cool decks. So decided to make it. So there's that. Next we run one Valkyrie Brunhilde. Her effect is she's unaffected by your opponent's spell effects. So yeah, for the Skyscraper matches when you're going online, yeah, it's pretty crazy that they try to do stuff, it doesn't happen. And then on top of being unaffected by other spell effects, she gains 500 attack for each of your opponent's monsters, for each monster your opponent controls. So she can get pretty big, pretty fast. And then when an opponent monster declares an attack, you can have this card lose exactly 1,000 defense. And if you do, your Valkyrie monster cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Unfortunately, you still take damage, but hey, helps you keep your Valkyries on board and have a little bit of a board present. So we just run one of her. And then lastly, for the 1-ofs, we run one Valkyrie Erda, much a macrocosm for your opponent, or dimensional fissure, however you want to look at it. But yeah, we run one of her, and I just love all the 1-of Valkyries. They just have all cool effects. And then for the 1-ofs, we're gonna go into the 3-ofs. We run 3. Probably the best normal summon in the deck, Valkyrie Raita. Her effect is when she is normal or special summon, you can add a Valkyrie card from your deck to your hand. That's a card, not monster, that's a card. So anything that you need. Unfortunately, Mischief of the Time Goddess is not a Valkyrie card, so yeah, there's that, but it lets you add your Ride of the Valkyries, which is pretty clutch. It says, so you can add it from your deck to your hand, and that's any Valkyrie card except for her. And then you can only use this effect of Director once per turn. Gains 200 attack for each of your opponent's banished monsters, so that's pretty helpful. She can get pretty big sometimes, but she's only 1,000 unfortunately. But yeah, do run her because she maximize her because she is probably the best normal summon. Next, we go into 3 Sextas. The level 1, you want to be able to special summon her as quickly as possible because she has a great special summon effect. Because if she is special summoned, you can special summon 1 Valkyrie monster from your deck except for her. And then during the main phase, you can send the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard, and you can only use each of these effects once per turn. So just great monster. So yeah, we run the 3 Sexta. Next, we're going into the newest edition from Toon Chaos. I think Santos and I both saw her at what, like $10, $16, whatever the heck it was. But thank God she's not that anymore. She's cheap and affordable, but she is really good. So I try to maximize her because I do run the Mischief of the Time, not Mischief of the Time Goddess, Skull Goddess of Oracle, whatever it's called. We'll get to it, but we do run her, the newest addition to the deck, level 9. So her effect is, if this card is in your hand, you can target 1 face-up spell trap card you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. So just any face-up spell trap card you control, and then special summon her. And when she is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 level 8 or lower Valkyrie monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect of Valkyrie figure once per turn. So just honestly, just amazing. Love her. Can't wait to test run her in real life. And get her while you can, guys, because Valkyries for the most part are cheap. We run 3, the Agent of Creation, Venus. She is not a hard once per turn. I guess I was sleeping on that, but she is not a hard once per turn. She lets you pay 500 light points, select 1 Mystical Shine Ball from your hand or deck, and special summon it to your field. So helps you get into some crazy link plays and just get board presence and yeah, get into Appaloosa pretty quickly. So we run 3 of her because she is just great to have. And then the Mystical Shine Ball that doesn't shine, unfortunately. We're trying to get those. But we run 3 Mystical Shine Balls. These are bricks in hand, so don't really want to see them. But you do run Link Spiders, so yeah, it kind of helps you get bricky hands, be non-bricky. So the only vanilla in the deck. And then for the last monster of the deck, we run 1 Trickstar Lilybell. When she is added to your hand, except by drawing, you can special summon her, and then she can attack directly. And I think when she does, you can add 1 Trickstar monster from your deck. You can add 1 Trickstar monster from your graveyard to your hand after she performs damage calculation. But we only run her because I was running Candina, but I decided to take her out because I wanted to throw in this the Goddess Skull's Oracle, because that's just a really cool card and it helps me bring out Sigurin too. So that's it for the last monsters. And yep, we're now going to get into the spells, guys. For the 3-0s, we run 3 Downbeat. So this lets you tribute 1 face-up monster, special summon from your deck 1 monster with the same original type and attribute that the tribute monster had on the field, but 1 level lower, and you can only activate 1 Downbeat once per turn. Just great to help you trigger some of the Valkyrie's effect when there's special summon by spell or just being special summon in general. And yeah, great card to have. And next we run not only Downbeat, it kind of feels like you have to run Transmodify also. So Transmodify lets you send 1 face-up monster you control to the graveyard, special summon from your deck 1 monster with the same type and attribute as that monster in the graveyard, but 1 level higher. So whereas Downbeat is 1 level lower, Transmodify is just 1 level higher. So yeah, you can only activate 1 Transmodify per turn. So yeah, we run 3 of that to help you special summon some of your other monsters. And then we run 3 Celestial Transformation. This lets you special summon any fairy type monster from your hand, but that monster's attack and strength is halved and it is destroyed at the end of the turn. It helps you just get out some of your Valkyries to trigger some of their effects. And if you wanted to run Christia, which you can for a more competitive build, definitely great way to get out Christia, and it's a quick effect, so it lets you interrupt your opponent. And something that Transmodify and Downbeat art, so a little bit of interruption right there. And then we run 3 Goddess Skull's Oracle. Its first effect is when this card is activated, if all monsters you control are Valkyrie monster, minimum 1, you can add 1 Goddess Verdidine's guidance from deck to hand, but we don't use that. You can if you want to go for a more theme-oriented deck. I chose not to. Once per turn, we use its other effect, which is once per turn during your main phase, you can look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you do, place them on the top of their deck in any order, but you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except fairy monsters. Very trolly, gotta love that. And then next we run 1 Sailor Moon, aka Mischief of the Time Goddess. So it has a crazy effect, which I love. So this is what it states, and this is the effect. So neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Cannot be activated as Chain Link 2 or higher. At the end of your battle phase, if all monsters you control are Valkyrie monsters, minimum 1, send this card to your graveyard. Also immediately after its effect resolves, skip to the start of the battle phase of your next turn. If you do, you cannot activate Mischief of the Time Goddess until the end of that turn. So you can only activate one of her, but pretty much what it does, it lets you, if all monsters you control are Valkyries, lets you attack, skip over your opponent's entire turn and go into your next battle phase and attack again. So you get 2 battle phases when you activate this card. So great way to OTK, and it's a pretty fun way to bring out to have your Valkyries just push your game. And then lastly, we have Rat of the Valkyries. This lets you special summon any number of Valkyrie monsters with different names from your hand. That's just any special summon, whichever ones you want. If you special summon 3 or more monsters with this effect, you take no battle damage until the end of the next turn. So if you don't, you're going to take battle damage, because its other effect states that during the end phase of the turn you activate this card, shuffle all monsters you control into the deck. So yeah, whatever board you set up, it's going to get put away into the deck, unfortunately. So it's very crucial for you to be able to push your game if you're doing such a thing. And then its other effect is when it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add Sailor Moon, aka Mischief of the Time Goddess, from your deck to your hand to help you push your game. So there is that synergy right there. And I was running this at 2, and you can run it at 2, and it is very helpful, but it does suck when you can't push your game and you're left wide open and you didn't summon 3 or more. But yeah, you can choose to run this at 2 if you want. Right now it is at 1. And then you can only use this effect to Rat of the Valkyries once per turn. So there is that. And then lastly, for the last Valkyrie card, which I've been testing out, and it has been pretty nice actually, has been very helpful, nice little tech, is Valkyrie's Embrace. If all monsters you control are Valkyrie monsters, you can target 1 attack position Valkyrie monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Doesn't matter what position, just face-up. Change your monster to defense position, and if you do, banish that opponent's monster. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except Valkyrie monsters. So this is when it restricts you solely to Valkyries. And then you can only activate 1 Valkyrie's Embrace once per turn. So it just banishes it. Pretty great, pretty nice tech. And then some of your Valkyries do have pretty high defense, so that is helpful. And then 1 Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Unfortunately, it's not a Valkyrie card, so you can't search it like that. But it states that once per turn you can special summon 1 fairy monster from your hand. You must control no monster to activate this effect. So it's just a nice card to have for Sigrun, and then just gives you a free body on board without committing to your normal summon. 1 Light Stage, because it lets you add a Lily Bell from deck to hand, and then it lets you target 1 set card your opponent controls in the spell and track card zone. And then while this card is in the field zone, that set card cannot be activated until the end of the turn. And your opponent must activate it during the end phase if not sent to the graveyard. So we use it for that, just to get rid of some back row, and it is a good 1-0, good ash bait, and terraforming. That's it for the main deck. We're now going to get into the extra deck. So now for the extra deck, we have 1 Barricaded Board Blocker. So when he is link summoned, you can discard 1 card, and then during the end phase of that turn, he lets you add 1 continuous spell or field spell from your graveyard to your hand. And on top of that, when he's on the field, face-up spell cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent card effects while he is on the field. So help protect your continuous spells until they get rid of him. So very clutch, TCG exclusive, so that's pretty cool. And then we run 1 Hippo Shinigami. Just a great, link to generic, helps get your Valkyries big. And then when he's destroyed by battle or card effect, he lets you add 1 fairy card from your graveyard to your hand. So there is that. Then 1 Link Spider to help you get rid of your Mystical Shine Balls, and then just link them off too. 1 Pentastag for your Valkyries to do some piercing damage, and then a lot of generic cyber support you guys are going to be seeing right here. So Pentastag right there just for piercing damage. 1 Link Karibo, 1 AP Masquerena, One security dragon because when he is code linked with another card, he lets you target one card and bounce it back to the hand. So very nice. And then one decode talker because he's a great link 3 and he can get pretty big in some cases. And just a little budget Appaloosa too if you guys don't have him. Very, very, very good card still to this day in my opinion. And then lastly, for the cyber support, we have Crusader Ecomax to sell push your game. Easy link 3 to get into. And yeah, he can get pretty big pretty quick. And then one Nightmare. And then for the generic links, one Nightmare Cerberus, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Unicorn, one Saryuja because it is very easy to make Saryuja in this deck, helping you draw and get further into your deck. And on top of that, helps you get another summon on board. One Boral Sword to help OTK. I don't have my hands on Access Code Talker, so yeah. And then one Appaloosa because it's very easy to make Appaloosa in this deck. And that does it for the pure 15 card link deck and 40 card deck, guys. Valkyries are a fun deck, love it, love my anime decks. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. Once again, this is Brian with Neo Overlay Network signing out.